Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. That final fight. Wow. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum. The boxer from Shantung. Boom, shakalaka. This is the 1972 action drama from Hong Kong. It was also directed by Shantung, who also directed Five Deadly Venoms, who shot the night scenes, and then it was directed by Sui Li Pao, who directed the day scenes. The plot. It's 1922 Shanghai. Two brothers are trying to make a life for themselves. One is a servant to the rich, willing to do anything for them for some money. The other is a fighter ready to rebel and gain. Lessons will be learned, as will profit be earned. Who of the gangs in this territory will come out on top? This film has a richness to it that doesn't just apply to the wealthy characters. There's a level of respect given to it that doesn't just contribute to the main characters' desires. Everyone in Shanghai is trying to make a living. Most just want to get by. Some want to thrive. Shanghai is made out to be a workers' landscape. From the beautiful opening shot of the workers coming home and settling into their apartments after a long, hard day's work, to the hustling and bustling streets, where the working class perform their duties and eat a minuscule lunch, pretty much of just noodles. Shanghai is a place where jobs need to get done, and those who want to earn money will do whatever it takes to please those in charge. Businessmen had to do something right to get into their position of power, whether being born into it or just being able to fight.
I may be a nobody, but I know how to fight.
Some, you might say, work with the right attitude and achieve their goals. Enough about philosophy and psychology. Let's get into what drives the story forward. The characters. Mei Young-san, played by Quan Tai-shen from Human Lanterns, is our hero who walks the fine line between compassionate and corporate. He cares about his brother and slight love interest. However, when he finally makes some money, he becomes slightly blinded by power. He's also a smug individual right from the get-go.
Who's he think he is?
Lion Brian Cattle, the horror shark. He knows he's an excellent fighter and will do anything to provoke and prod to make people fight him. To prove a point, you see. He does this to every character that thinks he's a challenge. At least he can back up his claims. As I said in the intro, the fight between him and a huge brothel of baddies is, wow. It's 15 minutes long, and it consists of him being a brash, bloody, bombastic blight. He's a great character, if not a bit unrelatable. He's a super fighter who can dish out anything, even after a serious beating. But most of the time he doesn't seem fazed, and that's how he makes his dough. Xiao Jingenbei, played by Kang Yan-sheng, is Ma's brother. We only know he's his sibling because Xiao calls him Brother Ma, although I think that's something to do with the translation. He doesn't have much to his character, but he does support his brother and fight with him when he can, even when all hope seems lost. Jin Lingzi, played by Li Sheng, is a local bar singer. She is adored by many but has her eyes set on Brother Ma. She does become heartbroken when he earns a ton of money, which is kind of ridiculous. He doesn't display the same greedy nature as the other rich men in Shanghai and is willing to spend it on everyone with a carefree nature. He wants to be remembered as a good rich man, but she can't see past the greed or lack thereof. I find her defensiveness to be a weak excuse for unneeded drama in the film. It never amounts to anything anyway. Boss Tansai, played by David Dawei Sheng, who was in The Legend of Enveloped Demons from 2022, is one of the leaders of wealth in Shanghai. He has Ma's respect and is an excellent fighter. He doesn't just have wealth, but he has enough skill to fight to keep what is his for as long as he can. He isn't in the movie as much as I would have expected him to be, but his presence is felt behind his satisfied smile. Boss Yang Sheng, played by Nan Xingyang, is as sinister and manipulative as they come. His buck rat tooth grin will stick with you and make him seem slimy in his approach to everything. He wants to rule all of Shanghai and will take out anyone who tries to stop him or get in his way. There are a bunch of other fighters, like street fighters or champions, but none of them stick out as much as they did as in the Five Fingers of Death. In here, they're all kind of generic and interchangeable. I do enjoy most of the characters, but as per usual, there are a ton of them. And they do serve at least some purpose, but they do get mixed up a bit. I do wish we had a more colorful cast of characters, but everyone is pretty stock here. This film is definitely a well-made, well-shot motion picture. From the morning streets of Shanghai to the blood-soaked 15-minute climax, it's got style to it. The gore, the effects, we get hackings, stabbings, and bloody brawls. It's definitely gorier than Five Fingers of Death. Like I already mentioned and will continue to mention, the last 15 minutes are insane. I couldn't believe how it started and continued on, and then finished. I was like, whew! It was a spectacular example of masterclass martial arts filmmaking. This is a 2-hour and 15-minute movie, in that there is a lot of dialogue, but the fights are scattered around enough to keep you interested. For the motion picture soundtrack, this time Young Yu Shin, who also composed Five Fingers of Death, brings an upbeat nature to the film's score, namely the main theme. However, his soundtrack here is not as important to the scenes as they were in Five Fingers of Death. They usually accompany the end of a scene, to pair with the crossfade transitions. In fact, there's a distinct lack of soundtrack during the fight scenes, which makes them a lot more hard-hitting. There are other nice little themes, but the music isn't the focus. Overall, this movie is awesome. There are some slow parts, and the characters, for the most part, are pretty stock, save for the main players. Still, this film is well executed. Plot, characters, and especially execution are key in martial arts films. I was never bored while watching this movie. I would definitely recommend this film. If you wanted more bloodshed out of Five Fingers of Death, then this movie should quench your juicy thirst. That's 2 for 2 with the Shawscope Brothers Volume 1 box set. Both hits. I can't wait to dig into more of these movies. What's the next one going to be? 5 Shaolin Masters and Shaolin Temples after that. So for now, let's wrap this one up. Overall, I give The Boxer from Shantung a 3 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and I am Brian Cattle. So hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video, and as always, subscribe. Hua!